I've been sitting here this morning and, I just was recently thinking about how, in this society, this twisted society that we live within, one of the biggest tricks is inversion. So basically taking and just blatantly inverting the truth and claiming the exact opposite of what is obvious. So perfect example of this is how many people who become sane and realize the madness and how outrageous this political economic structure philosophy that is being superimposed on us. When you become sane and you realize how outrageous it is, you become labeled an extremist for pointing out the extremism of this outrageous system. This system that is totally based on exploitation, based on corruption and deception and theft, just plain theft of energy, just stealing and wearing everybody out. And it just sucks the life out of people and this planet because you're expected to just remain in subservience and just remain in a state of drudgery and debt, and to believe that a society of drudgery and debt to serve the masters of certain enterprises, to sit there and accept this outrageous, unfair financial system that we're under, where you're literally forced to work for debt because your money is created out of credit, out of interest-bearing debt from credit. You're expected to believe that it's normal to be subservient to the most narcissistic, psychopathic people. And then you're bullied your entire life and abused, and you're ridiculed if you think that something is wrong with this. You can sit and you can see this blatantly corrupt legislative process that's totally corrupted and rigged and owned by corporations. You can see this blatantly rigged electoral system that has created the two-party dictatorship. You can just see how it's just been normalized that this is just the way it is, that you just live in an unfair, cold machine that wants to do nothing but take your energy and doesn't care about you, throws you out when you don't need it, leaves you out in the cold when you don't serve it anymore. To be programmed to believe that your life is some sort of debt from birth, essentially, that you don't even have like the right to life. That if you don't serve this system, you don't have a right to life. And people don't even think about, when we use words like, oh, what do you do for a living? That is a very insidious way of saying to someone, what have you done to earn your right to live in this system of enterprise? And that's what it is saying to you. And here's the thing. I'm not even against like business and enterprise. Like I make mead, and that's like something that I'm really developing. But that's different than what I'm talking about, where it's like you have this total insidious and pervasive influence from networks and syndicates that have too much influence over things. But the truth is the way you dissolve that power is to see the fraud, for what it is. See that this whole thing is a scam, that everything you've been taught your whole life is a lie, and it's all been put in your head to turn you into a robot into a machine that unquestionably acts on the, like reflexively reacts on the behalf of this outrageous system, and to not only act on behalf of it, but to develop a Stockholm syndrome like attachment to, almost like, you know what it's really like? It's like someone who's in an abusive relationship. That's like what the dynamic is kind of like. Like, so you have people in this society who know that this is garbage, that this is rotten, because you can feel it in your bones. You can feel how tired you are of paying dues to the system and just having your money taken so that they can go kill people in other countries and go give it to corporations and all these kind of things. The very corporations that suck your life out of you. And you're just like, what the hell? And I don't even remember my previous train of thought. I totally forgot what I was about to say. There was a point that I was going to make, but it just doesn't even matter. I mean, it's just basically this whole everything you've been told is bullshit. Oh, and I now remember what I was going to say. So it's like an abusive relationship. So you know how you have people who are in abusive relationships, and even though they know that that relationship is garbage and they know that that person is going to abuse them and they're going to go through all these problems with that person, they would rather stay in the comfort zone of a known terrible situation than to go to that brave new world, which is that unknown. And that's what basically kind of exists with this system. And what keeps it in power is it's a fear-based bullying like control, just like an abusive relationship, an abusive relationship where the bully has to convince, or the abuser has to convince the victim that the only option is to stay in that crappy relationship with them. And that's what this extreme ass outrageous system is. It's an abusive relationship that wants you to believe you don't have a person, to make you scared of their system that is not doing nothing but feeding on you. Because if you're listening to this video, you're probably a slave who works all the time, and just, you may work two jobs even, and you're just working and 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 serving and doing what you believe is your social duty, and you're just getting totally crapped on, and you're just out in the cold on your own, struggling and fighting. We don't live in the reality of the baby boomers that the baby boomers grew up in. That tells you right now something is up. That this is a corrupt system that is sucking the energy out of people in this planet, this realm. You had back in the baby boomer era where the husband could go work some dead end job, wife could stay at home all day scratching her pussy, and they could afford a house and raise 7 kids and have multiple cars, and then you could have all that. Because we didn't have our values sucked and stolen like we have in this system. But here's the beauty of it, is that the gaining of your power back is just to see the trick, to realize it was all just like a magic trick. Like they just did like a sleight of hand, like card trick, parlor trick or something. That's what this whole system is a parlor trick. And realize that you are powerful, and they tricked us through literal witchcraft, because witchcraft, like spells, you spell out words, right? So you use a bunch of propaganda and a bunch of BS belief systems and trying to superimpose that over nature. And that's why this thing doesn't work, because they're trying to do something that's not natural. They know it's not natural for people to spend 40 hours a week sitting under fluorescent lights in an office or a store or a warehouse. So this has turned into a real rant. This is it. But I'm liking this. I'm really liking this because I'm getting a lot out that I've wanted to say. And like I don't even. I just have to talk about this stuff because I live in the world that where this happens. Because like the higher spiritual truths just supersede all of this, and like all like no, this is nothing compared to the true glory of your being. And that's the whole thing they're trying to hide from you, is the glory of your own being. So they have to keep you distracted, keep you occupied. That's what's really trying to be occulted or hidden. Really, it's covered. I like to call it a clipsing. So apocalypse means uncovering. So calypsing. So they're trying to cover you. They don't want you to know that the one is within you, that they've convinced you to believe in stupid hierarchies and to believe that some person who farts, shits, and dies like everybody else, that you should go according to their rules and their agendas. Come on, man. That doesn't even make any sense. And this is what we're dealing with, is basically the installation of like a virus program. And it's like a magic trick. It's a sleight of hand trick, programming people, exploiting fears, exploiting desires, and getting people to go along with something and to not realize that they don't have to agree to this anymore. And I don't know if there will ever be a day when what you call humanity will get off its knees. I don't know. All I know is that I have to. And you have to if you're watching this video, especially if you're one of my YouTube subscribers. This message from me is like, don't even like pay attention to me. I'm just another appearance within this thing. It's like this is just pointing within you. That's it. So don't let these people gaslight you. You're not an extremist. You're not an extremist for recognizing the sovereignty of your being and and the nonsense of this circus that needs to burn to the ground. That was intense. I'm just trying to think if I have anything else to talk about. No, I think that's enough for now. I'll talk to you guys later.